one of the big things is that, this is before most of us were, even at any type of childhood age or anything, but in the late 60s, way before any of us were born, they introduced corn syrup into the United States market.
Okay.
Which corn syrup, as soon as they introduced corn syrup, childhood type 2 diabetes went through the roof. And then after corn syrup, you started having all these different additives to replace real sugar. Right now, the biggest one we have that's in sodas as an artificial sweetener, all that is aspartame. So if aspartame is in Diet Coke. So Diet Coke, they're like, look at Diet Coke, less calories.
Yeah,
same
that's why
flavor,
it's worse for you.
Same delivery. It's way worse for you.
Way worse, yeah.
One can of Diet Coke a day increases your chance of getting type 2 diabetes by 33%. Outside of all this other stuff that has these additives and all these other chemicals that are in it.
Hopefully this is not.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Look, hey, ladies and gentlemen, listening. Junebug checking his bullshit ass.
Celsius.
Yeah, to make sure there's
Arctic Vibe, sparkling frozen editions.
I'm not
sugar.
gonna lie to you.
I cannot even read this.
Yes,
as I sit here and say this, I'm drinking a multitude of cocktails and alcoholic beverages.
Of course.
But at the same time, I'm just saying that,
They don't have aspartame in
the
it.
silent killer in America is any sugar or fake sugar or sugar additive that they do. That is the silent killer in America.
Now, how about stevia?
So
not that.
you're talking about the powder.
The
But that's
pure
all
stevia.
So pure stevia is made from
The stevia leaf.
it's all organic. It's made from a
Agave,
plant.
right? Or no?
It's all
Right. Not the one that stevia made, because there's a sweet and
no.
low.
You're
there's
thinking of the
Splenda.
artificial sweetener, the stevia artificial, the juice.
No. Okay.
Or
Okay. I'm
The one
trying-
I used to use was the scoop. It looks
Truvia.
like sugar.
Truvia.
This
Truvia
does not
used to
have aspartame.
It does.
It does not.
Does not.
So let me back up. So you got sugar. This is we're going back a little bit in time. So
Yeah.
you got sugar, and all of a sudden you got sweet and low in the pink packet. Then you got equal in the blue packet. Then fast forward, all of a sudden you got Truvia. I think it's in a green packet, and then Truvia is made from the stevia leaf. And it's like, oh shit, And then we find out that that's bad for you. And then when I look into it, I don't really care about sugar. I'm like, whatever. I don't care about sweet. Hence Junebug's bullshit dessert. Shout out to Junebug.
He believes it's desserts
Alcohol.
are just for children and women.
So anyways,
I must be a 5-year-old girl then.
I mean,
It sounds
we're
good.
not talking about your
Hence my
ready whip
diabetes.
on the. But the stevia, stevia powder. It's a sugar powder, but it's stevia. You know what I mean?
Looks just like sugar. Yep.
Yeah. Is that bad for you?
No, it comes from a natural plant. Comes from a plant.
But it's processed.
Yes and no.
It's that's why I'm asking.
Everything's processed though.
Of course.
You can't sit here and say, I mean, if you want to talk about processed things, like any type of meat you buy from a deli has carcinogens in it.
Junebug.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love processed meat and stuff like that, but still my whole point at the end of this was that people who need medications for a cheap price, they can get it right here at costplusdrugs.com.
Aim that towards the camera. And that one. You got 2 more. And send a link to me because we're gonna.
That's Mark Cuban's site that he has that.
Yeah, send a link to me.
Allows people to get that if you don't have insurance or if you feel like.
I didn't know about that stuff.
Me neither. And this is Mark Cuban. That's
crazy.
why I said Mark Cuban is a fucking celebrity, and he's very open. He's a shit talker. I mean, not in a negative way, but he's a shit talker. He opens up and he says whatever is on his mind. He don't give a fuck. He's a fucking billionaire.
So, I don't you can on this site, providers can go in here and they can enter their patient's medication. You can go in here and you can look for medication. You could say, hey, I want to know if they have a generic version of this medication. What's a blood pressure medication?
Metoprolol. That's a generic name.
Metro.
You know what's good for natural flavor?
Metro.
Stevia. That's mint.
How do you spell
You
it?
motherfucker.
How do you spell Metropolo?
Son of a.
Go ahead, Junebug. Pour some in. It's good for you.
Yeah.
I got a mint plant up there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very fragrant.
Stick that up your nose. It'll make you feel better.
I already got it up my nose. Too late.
So here's a generic version of Diazepan.
Really?
Diazepan, $4.20.
She.
And what does that usually run?
Without insurance.
Oh yeah, oxybutyn chloride. Yep.
Yep.
What does that usually run?
Depends on your insurance. So
Yeah.
a lot of insurance companies, you may have.
So this is where big pharma comes into play.
Yeah, so
this
you may-
part.
Yeah,
Well-
so you could have the really big insurance plans, right, are obviously United Healthcare, which is one of the largest in the United States, right? And usually
Right.
they try to partner with a local pharmacy group, depending on the region. Sometimes they partner with someone like CVS. And you could have an additional copay for something. So you could, if your doctor prescribes the name brand, you can ask for the generic, and the generic price, you'll probably get it at about 3 times the cost of that. So you'll pay $15. But the thing about this is that someone who doesn't have insurance can go to a county hospital, which county hospitals are non-for-profit. They take people without insurance. They can prescribe them a prescription. They can fax the prescription in here, and they can get it for a out of insurance price that is as if you were in network. And that's the huge part. So someone that, for example, let's say I were to lose my job tomorrow, and my
He
job
doesn't
offers
have medical coverage
boom.
medication coverage.
I would have to pay out of pocket a thing called Cobra. Cobra insurance will cover me at a certain premium for the next 90 days of my life until I find a new job. If not, I will have to keep paying in a ridiculous amount of premium. And so Cobra insurance for me for 90 days would be like $800 a month for me and my family. Or it could be $1,200 depending on my coverage, right? So let's say I lost my job tomorrow. I couldn't afford Cobra insurance. I would essentially be without care. So what I would have to do is I would have to, one, get my kids enrolled in a local state program like Medicaid and get them care that way. Or I could go without insurance, get seen at UMC here in Vegas, which is the only county hospital that accepts people without insurance that will help you work with you on the plan. But at the same time, if I get prescribed any medication, I would have to pay the full cost of that medication anywhere. Unless Mark Cuban's site carries it, send in my prescription, then I can get it for the cost plus 5% shipping and 3% handling.
Unbelievable.
Boom. Crazy. Which is the way healthcare should be, right?
Of course. Isn't that way in up north in Canada?
So
something.
So I can tell you I've met with a couple Canadian people and kind of talked to them about healthcare and stuff like that. Yes, without a doubt, like they can get free healthcare, they get all this stuff, and they really don't have copays for certain things and everything. There is a backlog and waiting list for a lot of things that people have to get done, but at the same time, their taxes and all that stuff are 3 to 4 times what ours are. I think their taxes at like 25%.
Really?
Which I don't know if you know this. The Republican Party, they put out a just a little request out there saying, hey, maybe we should get rid of all taxes except sales tax, and we should make our sales tax 24%. So you wouldn't have to pay property tax. You wouldn't have to pay tax when you are renewing your vehicle. You wouldn't have to pay taxes on payroll. So when someone pays you, they wouldn't be taking government tax out, all that stuff. You would only have to pay tax for goods and commodities, right? But still, you wouldn't have to pay taxes on anything that is consumable, meaning milk, eggs, meat, things like that.
That sounds worth it, man.
It sounds worth it, right? Because
Fucking A.
exactly. So like I don't know if you know this, but Nevada has one of the highest tax rates for state tax than anyone in the nation. We don't have a state tax, but we have a state property tax that is one of the highest in the nation. So
there was something that
just came out. You had to sign paperwork, fill it in, all that stuff. So if you didn't file with the Nevada Department of State for property, if you didn't file and you owned a house, you didn't file this piece of paperwork letting them know that your primary residence is the residence that you're currently in, your property taxes were automatically going to go up to 8% overnight. So your property taxes are based on the value of your house. So
wow.
Junebug, who bought a brand new house 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, right? As if he wouldn't have filed this piece of paperwork and sent it in and got it recorded at the county recorder's office, his property tax was probably like 2.9% or 2.7%. If he wouldn't have done that, he would be paying 8% year over year, the total value of his house for the property. So look at this. You have a $500,000 house, you're paying $4,000 a year in property taxes.
Yeah, that's a lot. Did you do it?
Yeah.
Right away.
Shout out to say, fucking slap him for me, please.
Man.
So
Use the copper.
Yeah.
No, but for real, that's fucking crazy.
it's nuts, man. I mean, the way it worked. I mean, for me, in my house, I would have to pay like almost 5 G's a year just in property taxes.
Yeah. See, now I'm not a property owner at the moment. How did you know about this? Were letters sent out or were emails sent out?
So
I mean,
I look, real talk.
Yeah.
I didn't find out about this shit I just saw it on Instagram. So one of our respiratory therapists that lives in my neighborhood, like literally I walked to her house. She said, hey, fill this paperwork and send it in ASAP.
so this is one of those, what the fuck is this moments?
Yeah.
Like for real.
Well,
like
so here's the
in all
thing,
seriousness.
Yeah.
So when you buy a new home, people send you tons and tons of shit that is all bullshit. They're like, you need to do this, or you could lose your house in 3 years. Send us $40 and we'll do this for you. Or someone will come by your house and be like, hey, you have insurance in your home? You're like, yeah, it's included in my escrow and all that. They're like, but do you have real insurance on your home? So people try to scam you all the time.
Of course.
When you're a homeowner. So when you get a piece of paper in the mail that says, hey, you really need to do this, your property tax is going to go up. You're like, okay, this is just another scam. Someone's trying to get money from me.
Yeah. Sound like
So
it.
for my wife and I, she actually was talking to one of our neighbors at the grocery store about it. And I was like, is this real? And I like tried to find tons of stuff online.
Wait,
It took me.
Hold on, stop, pause. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you weren't aware either? You had to like
I was
research
not
yourself?
either. So this is like 3 months before it was supposed to
Holy
happen.
Shit.
So she told me about it and I was like, man, this ain't real, whatever.
Right.
And then about a week before, I start like seeing stuff on the news. I start seeing stuff like my neighbors are all talking about. So finally I go onto the county assessor's office and I look all this information up and I find it all.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, this is real. We need to like sign this and file this in. So
ASAP,
we did it
like
online.
yesterday.
We did the online one. And then we also mailed one in just to, double verify.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it's stuff like that. Like if you are someone who's trying to make money and you want to change a policy or something, you want to make the least noise as possible. Did you know that still to this day, if you want to change something significant, even in our government, or you want to do something like you want to evict someone, like let's say your property management company wanted to evict you, they don't even have to tell you. They can post it in the newspaper for 7 days. When's the last time you read the newspaper?
I didn't even read the newspaper.
A few years
Reads
ago.
the newspaper,
Yeah. It's
right?
pretty rare. Yeah.
Right? So they can post it. You can post the sale of a house or the auction of something or a change in a bill in the statute of limitations, or you can put a bid out there for contractors and say, I'm selecting this one contractor who isn't a veteran, who isn't a minority, who isn't a small owned business. And you put it in the newspaper, and if no one challenges it, guess what? It's 100% legit. You can still do that in the newspaper till today.
Damn.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
I never heard that before.
So, for example, you find an abandoned car, right? In the middle of nowhere. And you're like, this car's been sitting out here for like a while. I drive by and it's just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
You can tow that car back to your property, get the VIN number of that car, file the lost vehicle that you want to claim this vehicle as your own, as like a finder's keeper's law. You take that VIN number, you can post this lost vehicle at the State Department, the DMV, and in the newspaper. And I think you only have to do it for 7 days. And if not one person comes up to claim that property, it's yours.
Which would be easy to stage a fucking theft to do that.
I mean,
Exactly. If no one's claimed the vehicle lost, they check the police records.
7 days.
They do
Oscar,
it, and then here
we're
you go.
getting you a car.
We're getting you a car.
Hell yeah.
Everybody has a car.
We're getting you another car. 7 days. That's all we need, baby.
We're
gonna
holding
get
you
you a
accountable. That's a
Tokyo
verbal
Drift.
fucking contract we heard on the podcast. It's recorded. Camera.
That's you know
audio.
what? Like, okay, I'm gonna piss a lot of people off because I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I've been on this Andrew. Well, it's not even Andrew Tate juice. It's like Fresh and Fit juice, right? Shout out to Fresh and Fit, right?
Shout out to Andrew Tate, Tristan, Patrick Bet
all
David,
them guys.
all of them.
Freaking long live the Tate brothers, dude. Like for
all
real.
those, all those guys that are like, hey, let's rise up. People.
Hell yeah. So I want to rewrite marriage laws. Like I want to,
In the West, of course.
Holy
shit, yes.
And I heard, I don't know where exactly I heard. It was a short, like either on YouTube or something like that. But what the guy was saying was make like 100% sense to me. And it's probably because I'm a bitter, married guy, old guy, and I'm bitter. I'll be the first to admit it. Okay, I'm putting myself out there. Sorry, baby. I don't want to. Everybody knows you're the real
She
king.
doesn't even know how to locate a podcast.
Probably not, but just in case, I have to
believe you do.
CYA. I got to CYA. But
Yeah.
the guy that I was listening to said, he was asked, how should marriage laws be written? And he said something to the effect of, it cannot involve the church or state, number one. And
Agreed.
it should be only for like a certain period of time, like 10 years or less. And it should be written to where, like, in the event of 10 years or less, you're like one or both of parties are not satisfied in that marriage, they should have the right to reevaluate.
like a termination without cause.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I mean, we
we could either auto renew this
Yes.
marriage, or we can both
Or-
walk away.
yeah,
And that's it.
yeah.
I just want you guys to know.
And that's gonna piss a lot of people off. Like if they listen to this and they hear what I just said, especially
'em.
me saying it, like
It is what it is. Fuck them.
I mean,
I'll set
they're
it up before
they're
them.
gonna be pissed.
You can't say
You're
that,
gonna have a
Junebug.
lot of views after they hear me just saying that.
Well,
But here's the thing. I was married for 10 years to his mom.
Mhm.
And obviously it didn't work out. That's a different story. We're not going to get into that because that's
Right.
like more like needs to know basis.
Sure.
But you guys know about it, the majority about it. And you know what? I've told many, many people the next time I get married, if I do, which I do want to, but if I do get married, I don't care who the fuck it is. Prenup, bitch.
Yeah,
And that is the way it is going to be.
100%.
And if you don't want to, I don't give a fuck.
look, we all have kids. We all have kids, and we want them to end up with the best possible person that will love, care, cherish for them in all of their life. But the thing about it is, we got to be real. Nothing lasts forever, number one. And number two, unfortunately, there's a real bad reputation of women, particularly in the West, that are,
infidelity.
yeah.
Oh.
And they're like really not housewife material. And there's going to be a lot of women that's going to be pissed off when they hear me say that.
Well, so here's my thing on that whole take. I believe that if you want to do the 10-year thing, right? After 10 years, you guys are like, hey, we need to make a decision. We're either going to auto renew the marriage for another 10 years or we're going to part ways. And it's going to be equitable and it's going to be, it's going to be at both our, I believe at year 8, no matter what. I personally, in your scenario, I'll tell you my scenario about marriage. At year 8, you should be like, hey, at year 8, whether you guys are successful or not, you should have to partake in couples therapy.
Agreed.
That's a great idea.
Agreed.
I personally believe that before people should ever get married, they should have to do a set amount of couples therapy.
Agreed. Now, we did this and with me and my my wife, we had to do that, but it was through the church because we're Catholic by religion. Mm-hmm. And in order to get married in the Catholic Church, we had to do a wedding retreat, couples retreat. And I believe that helped us, like,
Yeah.
But I just am looking out for the sons more so, and really like for and I don't want I'm just gonna use Isaac because that's the closest thing. Okay.
To a son that you have?
Well, I have 3 sons, but my oldest son is not really close to me. I love him dearly. I would do anything. I would sacrifice myself for any one of my sons. But
God bless you, sir. Thank you for protecting our country.
Yeah, thank you very much for your service to our country. CJ, love you. But let's be real. He is much closer to his mother than I am. Mm-hmm. He is to me. Isaac is my son.
But most boys are closer.
Mama's boys.
They're mama's boys. Not in a negative.
I'm guilty of that.
Not in a negative way, but it's like you're mostly mama boys, and that doesn't like. There's a big distinction between the stereotypical mama's boy and the man who's like, oh yeah, I love my mom, close to my mom.
Sure.
And just not get that twisted. So
no.
That's just for the audience reference.
Yeah, just for the reference.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of like rewrite it in protection of my sons. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't ever want them to end up in a toxic relationship first and foremost. But the more I listen to reason and I think about this day and age, there's really no traditional women out there. Like
in the West.
Yes, in the West.
They're becoming
unicorns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, where are they? Like, how do we find them?
The Philippines.
Passport bros. Like, that's why they're so pissed off at whoever those guys are, passport bros. And you know what is crazy? My mom been telling me this ever since I started dating. She initially was against me and Eden getting married until, Eden kind of grew on her. And, but she used to always tell me, don't get married to anybody over here. Go to the Philippines. And I used to think about like, why do I have to go all the way to Philippines? Like I can't even speak Tagalog. How am I gonna find a traditional Filipino woman? You know what I'm saying? Like It didn't make sense to me. But I didn't listen.
You like fuck?
Oh, not even. They use the other word. I can't even say it. But I mean,
Oh, you like putana mo?
Oh my God! Now you gonna.
You like Nunu massage or Nuru massage?
You like fight too? Huh?
What's the other one? You like fight or
you like fuck? You like fight? Which one?
You did it. You said it. You said it.
Okay, I flee.
But like, tell me, you know what I mean? Even for your kids, right? You want them to end up, with your girls, end up with Prince Charming, not like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but so my thing is that, so let me tell you my take on marriage. I told you that I believe that people, should have to do couples therapy before they ever get married.
100.
I think that's very
100%. I think there should be a dedicated period of time that people are together before they get married.
Yes.
And I don't think anyone should be allowed to get married under the age of 25.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
In today's modern society.
In today's modern society, 100%.
Let's clarify that.
Let me tell you my personal experience. So, my wife and I, we were high school sweethearts.
Really?
And we actually met each other in junior high.
This is dating. Valid. You got to pay attention to this one because
started dating junior year of high school. We were together, and then we separated when we were 21 for 5 months. Got back together, and then 5 months later had my daughter. 5 months later, got pregnant with my daughter. Had my daughter, and then when I was 25, I went through like a quarter life crisis, and we separated. And then after that, we got back together, had my son, and we've been together ever since. And I can tell you no one should be in a relationship when they're 21 years old. No one.
In modern society.
In modern society, whatever it is, you should be able to experience the ability to go out and hang out and party all night and have fun with your friends with no type of barriers. Barriers, not meaning that I'm going to go out and I'm going to sleep with someone or I'm going to go and try to talk to girls or whatever it is. Barriers meaning that you should be able to go out on a Thursday night and not get home to your house until Sunday. Meaning,
especially if you don't have any
kids
responsibilities.
That's what I'm saying. You should be able to go out responsibility free. And I want that for my kids. Which is why I'm a huge advocate behind the fact that I didn't get married until I was 31. Or 32. I got married when I was 32.
And you already had how many kids?
3 kids.
And home,
and I got married.
Career,
to
everything.
My girlfriend at the time, now my wife. But I got married at 32. So I've been married for 2 years now. And I can tell you that, honestly, the best decision I ever did was marrying her, but for us both waiting, what it does is it gives that 10-year of whether these people want to be in it. And we went through a lot of couples therapy, and I found out a lot of things about myself that I didn't realize, but she also found out a lot of things about herself that she didn't realize. And when you bring both of your problems to someone who's there to listen, it's not even the fact that you both aren't listening. It's that you need to hear it from someone outside of your relationship to tell you that you're both saying the exact same thing. You just don't understand it because the other person in front of you is saying it.
Now let me ask you this. Your couples therapist, was it a man or a woman?
It was a woman. It was a woman.
Really?
Yeah, we would sit there and we would tell stories and just like things, and you know, our therapist would literally looked at me and she was like, "That's fucked up. Like that was a fucked up thing to do."
Yeah.
I would say
the reason I'm asking is because most women that are therapists, according to statistics, think with emotion and not the logic that they're taught for their degree and what they're teaching. And that's not according to me, that's according to the statistics. And
I have something to chime in on that one.
And Kevin Samuels and all those other guys have all thrown in on that. And we're not saying men are the better therapists. I'm not saying that. Like,
R.I.P. Godfather. My man.
For real. R.I.P. But that's why I'm praising that woman that was your therapist. And I think that's great because that's important.
And I will tell you, like, when, like, the first 3 months of therapy, we went every week for 3 months straight. I would go there and it was a fucking beatdown.
On you?
On me. It was like, I would go in there and it would just be a fucking beatdown for an hour and a half. And then we would leave and I would go home and I would just get completely plastered and get drunk. So I started scheduling our therapy sessions on Friday so I didn't have to go to work hungover the next day. But once, because
we think logically,
and that's
not
the manly thing
emotionally.
to do.
I think so. I think the problem with most people is they don't go to therapy long enough. If you go to therapy long enough with anyone, then they get to know the history and the backstory of the entire situation.
Yeah.
Meaning, after 6 months, once she got everything out that she needed to say, and I got to sit there and just be like, that was fucked up. You're right. I shouldn't have done that. I finally got to speak my truth. And then as I was speaking my truth, things started really moving in a positive direction. But for those first 3 months, it was rough. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was depressed. I just wanted to drink. I was like, I ruined my family's life. I did all these things. But as we started progressing in the right direction after like 6 months, a year, 18 months, and we stopped going after 18 months because we had all the tools and everything necessary to do
sir.
it.
I commend you for that.
Yeah,
I didn't make it that long.
But Kevin Samuels, shout out to him again. He did say therapy should have like a goal line.
Sure.
To fucking like end it.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you just go to therapy. Just
like
go.
indefinite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you need to know that there's a timeline to this thing.
Yeah.
So I looked at it one way and one way only. It's like taking up a new sport or starting MMA or jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
When you first start training,
it's hard as fuck. You're
going to want to quit every fucking day. Like every day. You're going to go home. You're going to get beat up. You're going to sit in your car. You're going to throw up on the side of the road. You're going to cry. You're going to beat yourself up, but nobody else is going to see that side of you except you. Mm-hmm. And the moment that you start accepting that person and building off that person is when you can become better at anything. So with therapy, that's how I started being, is I started saying, it can't get any worse than this. It's only going to get better. And it did. And like I said, we've been together. We've had our ups and downs, but we've always gone back to those tools we learned in therapy. We've always gone back to those moments. And we're probably in like one of the greatest parts of our life right now together. And, we've been married, and, she hasn't worked in almost 3 years, and I've been supporting her through nursing school and all these things. And it's been great. And we have that chemistry, that bond, and that ability to grow together. And so I know that, when she becomes a nurse and she starts working a lot, we're going to get to that point where she's going to be away from the house more than I'm used to her being away from the house. Cause right now she goes to school, comes home, and I know that's going to be another thing we're going to have to overcome, but people have to understand it's not like you resolve today's issues and everyth's good from now on. It's going to be, you resolve today's issues, you move forward, and it's always going to be.
Bro, marriage is a constant compromise. Like, they don't tell you that in the fine print. You know what I'm saying?
Just like self-education, it's never ending. You're always building yourself.
To this day, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 20 plus years, and I'm still learning better ways to do it.
That's why you're still purple belt.
Yeah.
No,
100%. Like,
I'm playing.
I don't
He's a black belt.
Like,
He's a professor.
I
wear a clear belt.
Yeah. Look, with you and your wife, right? Your personality is one that is very, like, to me, like, I'm not used to your personality. I had to get used. Yeah, your extreme personality.
Extreme, yeah.
Now, she is just as surprising as you are.
Extreme, yeah.
Sometimes she says stuff to me that I would expect this guy to say, and like she feeds off of him. They are like,
and you know what? It's both sides of the spectrum, because I've had conversations with her. She's just as wise and intelligent as him.
Yeah,
and she even gave me parenting advice for him because of his intellect. We're talking about my son, by the way.
Yeah,
she gave me phenomenal advice, and I was like, "What in the fuck?" And that's not. I didn't never doubt her intelligence, but she put it in perspective and broke it down. I was like,
"You right?"
It's like, wow.
The hardest part about that was the fact that we've always been those people. We just didn't know how to mesh together around people. When people weren't around, it was like,
you guys are fighting?
We would mesh. No, we would mesh.
Oh, you guys would mesh.
Get together. Like, I'm talking like two peas in a pod. No issues. Our problem was when we got around people, we didn't know how to be ourselves while also being together. And that was the hardest thing, was that we both had to understand certain things about each other. One about me is that depending on the people I'm around, I'm gonna curtail who I am. Like if when I'm in like a business setting, I'm gonna be like business Tolin, right?
Okay.
After hours, I'm gonna be after hours Tolin. But when I'm at home, I want to be family orientated, lazy Tolin. Like I want to be a couch potato, things like that. And she had to understand that there are certain different individuals that come with that. And I had to understand that when she's at work, she's a workhorse person, right? She's going to sit there and she's going to work her ass off.
Really?
And she'll stay there until the job's done. And when she comes home, right? When she comes home, she wants to relax as well. So that's why I cook all the dinners. She does the laundry. I cook the dinners. We both divide up the kids' sports and things like that. And that was the hardest thing to understand was both of us expected these things of the other person, but we never vocalized them. We never actually said, this is what I need of you. We just expected these things. And the only person you're ever going to hurt when you have expectations of someone and you don't verbalize them is yourself.
Yeah.
Of course.
So here you are at the end of the day, expecting these things of this other person that you love, that you want to spend your life with, but you've never actually verbalized it. And since you haven't verbalized it, in your head, you're like, they're failing you. They're doing the things you don't want them to do. But you never actually sat down and said, hey, I need this of you. Once we started verbalizing, hey, I need you to do this today. Hey, I need you to do this. And the best thing we ever did, I can tell you, is we created a family calendar with ourselves and our kids. And we put every sport, every activity, everything like this is on my family calendar.
Full fucking up then.
Look at this. I'll show you.
That's why everything that you do is calendarized.
What is it?
You sent me
What does it say?
Craig's setup
No, look at the bottom.
podcast.
That's where she's at.
Oh,
Podcast at Ernesto's. She's at our neighbor's house, setting up, helping them set up for a birthday party. And I said, hey, is it okay if I go do the podcast at Ernesto's?
What's that orange say?
haircut at Nick's.
No, the orange.
Is that
That's
gay guy?
green. I'm gonna tell Nick you said that. He's about to fuck your hair up.
No one's touching my hair.
You.
No one's touching his hair either. No, it says.
I can tell.
What does it say?
Busy bone.
Podcast.
No, I'm just kidding.
Podcast at Manny's dad. What the fuck?
What the fuck is
Junebug,
that shit? I
damn
didn't say that. It says
Tolin,
Ernesto.
back me up.
Look at this, Ernesto.
Back me up, Tolin.
Tolin.
Say podcast with Ernesto de la Cruz.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought we were like this. But I understand you.
No, but
Look. See,
but you share that calendar with Eden.
Yeah.
Eden's on everything.
Yeah.
And how much better the things get? Like there's no surprises, right?
It has to be like that because in four people's separate lives,
Exactly.
it's ridiculous. Like the color coding on the calendar is ridiculous.
Yep.
Like
Even when I tell you I need something, I said, hey, I can't be there this day.
right, and then
you send me the invite. I accept it, and the invite said so and so covering blah blah
yeah,
blah.
has
And
to be.
You know what? Let's back about a year ago. I don't do email. I don't do any of that shit. Let's be
I
real.
can tell.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard from Junebug first.
You look like a carrier pigeon guy.
Yeah, that's right. Some
Not even
fucking
that.
smoke single
I
shit.
just don't give a fuck. Unless you message me
You got
directly.
such a high tech son. How are you doing smoke singles still?
Yeah.
What the hell? Kick his ass.
I know. No. So here's what happened. So I was reading some shit online, and it was about Elon Musk. And Elon Musk, they were explaining that he gets shit done for the most part via email because he's the CEO of how many companies? This is before Twitter, so this is even longer.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, and I was like, what in the fuck? And the first person I saw to talk to this about, ironically, was you, Junebug. And you were like, yeah, so respond to your fucking emails. And I was like, whoa.
You know who just talked to me about that? Somebody that never does emails. Fucking Carlo. He worse than you. He's like,
worse than me. I don't even look at them.
That's what I'm saying. He worse than you.
Here's the thing: if you work in an industry that does not have emails, like you, how often do you communicate in your industry in emails? When you have a payroll issue or when you need support?
It's all there. I just don't do it.
I know, but I'm saying
It's a personal
those are the
choice.
But I'm saying those are the ways you communicate, right?
Yeah.
Two main things. Like for you need help or something's wrong about your pay. And that is like 90% of people in America. They only communicate in emails when it has to do something specific with their needs, right? So it's called self-orientation. How do you self-orientate yourself? Are you going to be a selfless individual where you only reach out when you have a problem? Or are you going to be a person that communicates because you want to keep open lines of communication with individuals, not because you have a problem, but because whenever something happens both ways, you want to be able to support? That's how you have to think.
That makes sense. But the old me used to go into the office with rage. I'm not even joking here. I used to go in the office with rage, and I would fucking kick doors, kick chairs, kick the table, and they'd be like, "What the fuck?" I'd be like, "My fucking," whatever it was.
Yeah,
and they'd be like, "Why don't you just fucking let us know? Call us." And then I started as I stepped down, and I started calling people directly. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with a coworker. He was just like, "Yeah, I told the guy, hey man, don't mess with my miles, my this, my money. That's my emotions." And I was like, I can't joke on him with that. He goes, "Why not?" And I was like, if I start saying shit like that, I'm gonna fucking mean it. And I'm gonna go into the fucking office and I'm gonna go through the fucking doors and we'll have a fucking conversation with them one-on-one. And I've been to this office. There's people everywhere. It's like a call center. I'm like, no, fuck that. That doesn't make me right, but that's what I know.
Do you want to know when I teach my leadership courses and I train individuals on how to do what I do, is I always tell them, one, send an email. Always send an email because it always documents your ability.
Paper trail.
It always documents your ability to try to resolve an issue. Two, if you send an email and someone calls you, you send an email after that call per our conversation and very detailed about what happened in that conversation to document it. Because at the end of the day, you need to have some ability to go back and look at how the timeline of events occurred. And if you're not able to do that, then the only person you need to blame is you can't blame payroll, you can't blame HR, you can't blame the service department or whoever it is that you're dealing with. The only person you can blame is yourself. Because why? You know better. I know better. He knows better. So always send an email because why? That email is always backed up on your computer. It's backed up on a server, and someone is going to ask, okay, you had this conversation. Do you have proof of that? And that's just the way the world is. We just talked about the marriage thing, right? We just talked about the marriage thing.
And it goes back to that.
It all goes back to that exact documentation.
100%. 100.
Do you have any idea how many emails Junebug has sent me and I don't even look at it or even aware of it?
I do.
I am the type of person that when Junebug sends an email or a text message,
he's like the very first one to reply. I'm gonna cut him off right there. Like, he's the very first one to reply. There's no bullshit.
And I will either say, I'm there, or I'll do it, or I'm like, hey, I'm unavailable, I can't do that.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, we're gonna be releasing these t-shirts. I'm like, send him money, here's my size, here you go. Always the first one. Always.
Every time.
You know what? Ever since that Elon Musk training I learned I was talking about, I'm much better now.
You're much better.
Audience out there, I am.
This is
doing
by the way, for those of you
right there.
For those of you who don't speak Spanish, this means así.
Oh.
So. But I'm aware now.
I mean, you know.
But I still blame Junebug.
I'll take the blame. It's fine.
It's all his fault.
As he has a paper trail.
He has a Pornhub t-shirt on. Shame on him.
This is a shout out to Professor Roger Ashley, Mr. AKA Pay Me.
Mr. AKA Spaztastic.
He graduated from Spaztastic.
Oh,
Mr. MMA.
So his
hairline is receding worse than yours. You're right.
No. His black belt promotion, I had to find a way to tie Pay Me into my speech. And thank God I wasn't wearing this t-shirt because obviously a lot of guys. I'm not gonna assume.
You should have asked me. I would have helped you. It's easy. I'm good at that shit.
You were driving. How would?
You should send me an email.
Oh God. Yeah, like that. That's a big success.
Look,
you should
the way
me.
you pay attention in class to me.
I mean, at least you're there when I can see you. You know.
But I'm saying that's what you should tell him.
Yeah.
Pay me.
Pay
the
me.
way you pay attention in class to me has been remarkable for the last 6-7 years.
That is a good point. How I did tie his pay me into the sport. I started out with actually Spastastic.
Okay,
I actually
like
started out with that.
I like it.
And I knew you would.
And his bald spot right here.
What? For me?
No.
Oh, him?
His bald spot right
Oh
here.
God, I didn't even go into that part.
I
went into the
Roger, we love you, man. But
Roger,
your bald spot,
I
your chin.
love you very much,
Hodger,
Professor.
Hodger.
Congratulations again.
You so smell.
So he started out right as spaz as all spaz could be. Oh God,
It's jujitsu Pete Davidson.
yeah. Holy shit! I cannot deny that.
You can't unsee it.
I
now.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
What the fuck?
jujitsu Pete Davidson.
I
And the
used to
Gallagher.
call him.
Yeah.
I used to call him Gallagher because he looks like Gallagher when he had a mustache.
Yeah.
And then when Pete Davidson came out, made it huge. I was like, son of a bitch.
Jiu-Jitsu Pete Davidson. We
So-
love you, Hodger.
Look, from Spastastic, I said pay me in the sense of you got to know your worth, right?
Yeah.
So when you say pay me, you're telling somebody I'm worth something, so you need to compensate my time, which in all actuality I agree with, because he's put in a lot of time with the academy. He's coached when he wasn't required to, and you know, I get it. Pay me, you are valuable now. And that's how I tied it into the speech, but I didn't want to go too much because everyone at the main academy would have seen me cry, sob like a
Like
Blubbering.
a show.
huh?
I mean, cry like a man.
Oh God. No. Cry like a blubbering
Whale?
emotional fool.
Like a dolphin.
Sure. Oh shit. Oh,
That was too fucking good.
that sounded amazing on the audio, bro. Shout out to your tech guy, dog. Like whoever made good job.
No,
but
that wasn't even tech guy. That was all it.
I mean, still, but the thing came through. It sounded like I was talking to Flipper. What the fuck? Holy.
Roger, we love you.
Yeah.
But fuck
We love you, Roger.
Fuck you, your receding hairline. That's
You
all I
and
got
your
on you.
Sneaky knee bars catching me all the time now.
Sneaky, not even sneaky. They just,
know, dude.
it's all
He's-
brute force.
Whatever it is.
And you know, that dude is
I'm upset because he
all
keeps
brute
catching me
force.
in them. I gotta
love-
fucking evolve.
I love Roger to death, and
Yeah.
he knows it. And fuck you, Roger.
What is-
but
fuck
he
you,
knows
Roger.
it. But it's
What is the
brute
greatest
force. Technique, but
compliment
brute force.
that anyone who teaches someone can receive?
Submitting me. Done.
You passed
Yeah.
me. You bypassed me as a teacher.
Yeah. When I can't
Exactly.
teach you anymore, like I really believe I can.
You can always teach someone.
I can, but the problem is their skill level surpasses me.
You're thinking in a sense that your knowledge stops at jiu-jitsu, but the things that you can teach people on the mat
Yeah.
are just as valuable as what you teach them off the mat. For example, when I lost my first fight, you were the first person that I talked to afterwards. And when James McSweeney and Robert Drysdale were like, these are the things you did wrong, and this is what you should have done better, you pulled me to the side and you were like, bro, we got to get back in the gym and we just got to work on the things that we need to be better at. And the things we need to be better at, we'll look at the film and we'll be better. And then what happened?
You got better.
I got better, and I rattled off 3 wins after that.
Yeah, you went on a tear right after that.
And that's what I'm talking about. Is like your impression of individuals has nothing to do with the belt they wear around their gi.
No.
I mean, in order for them to be impressionable, they have to earn that belt, right?
100%.
But
100%.
I think your biggest impression you've done for me has been off the mat in my life.
So,
like, especially the moments where I was fucking up in my life, where I wasn't training, I wasn't doing things, or even personally in my personal life, you know, you're like, bro, you fucking up right now. Like, you got to get that shit squared away. Like, those are huge impressionable moments.
That's some of the hardest conversations to have, bro.
Yeah, but
like,
at the
really
same time, you can't have those conversations with just anyone, right?
No.
You can't have those conversations with someone who is not willing to put in the time on and off the mat.
Sure.
Right? And I think at the end of the day, you being a black belt and being the head of our gym, and, you know, me and you knowing each other for so long, I can tell you that
forever,
right?
Fucking forever,
right?
Shit,
right. It was funny. Him and I were talking. Oh God, I think it was last year, because you turned 45 in May, right?
Yep,
45. You say you're 40.
You turned 45.
I'm always going to tell you I'm 40.
So
makes me look better.
Last year,
You
look 50.
Not last year. The year before that. When I turned 32, I said, "Fuck Junebug." I said, "Brah." I said, "This is the age you were when we met."
Yeah, that's crazy
You're
shit.
32
Yeah, that's
years old
100%. Yeah,
when you and I met.
That's right. Yeah,
And I was just turned 20, and I had no kids.
yeah.
I was just like, I want to fight, blah. Like, I want to fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You know-
Holly boy, ready. Let's go. Let's fucking scrap them up. Let's
never
fucking
had
go. Get in my
never had
guard.
a-
Let's
never
go.
had a sip of alcohol either. Unbelievable.
No,
What
I was
the
drinking
fuck?
always.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the impression that we've always had, like, you build these relationships. This is what I always tell people, right? Is that there's 2 type of relationships you build with people, right? In the gym, there's Professor Junebug, right? But not many people know Gaspar.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, right?
So let's break this down. You got Gaspar, Junebug, you got large Professor Junebug.
Oh God,
Who's the best
we
version?
go. Huh? Who's the best? What?
Who's the best version?
Oh,
Don't you
Gaspar.
bullshit.
I can't.
Gaspar's the family man.
Yeah.
Gaspar's the guy who is at his kids' wrestling tournaments.
Yeah.
Gaspar is the one that takes his family back to Hawaii to keep them in touch with their roots. He's the guy that travels to Nebraska to see his son in the cold weather.
Yeah.
And
That's the Gaspar. That's the person you know. That's the best
large
Junebug.
Professor Junebug.
Junebug is the guy that on the mats, right? OTM, right? OTM. He sits there and he tells you, he's like, "Come on, pay attention here. Let's go. Okay, here we go. Come on. I know you're not gonna let that triangle sit like that.
I never
Why
got
is
you
it?
that.
Why is it sitting on your calf? Lock it up behind the knees. Let's go."
And
or
then-
you hear him itch. You're like, "I know you're not tired. I know you're not tired. Throwing jabs. I know you're not tired."
And then you got large Professor Junebug Gaspar Agabin.
Oh God.
Who's all like, "Hey Ernesto, let's go to Hawaii. Here's my family. Here's my
Beer
sister,
and
my
a
brother.
napkin.
Here's this.
I'll
Here's
be
that.
fine."
Oh yeah, here's some beer. Here's that. Here. Oh blah blah blah. Oh, you lost your job. You got laid off. I got you. That's the large Professor Junebug. This is my son. This is my son and my son. Oh, here's my wife. Here's my mom.
Bro.
Here's
In a heartbeat. I would have done like,
Go there.
you know,
you got to.
for the guys
Why?
that are because why not? We only live once, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
Not YOLO. WOLO.
yeah.
That's the Hawaiian term.
Oh,
we
boy.
only live once.
Chee.
Yahoo!
We, you know, and I was really close. Had this guy not been adamant in the sense that, oh, don't do it, you know, don't book my flight, da 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 da. This guy would have came this recent time when we went back to Hawaii, just because. Like I would have done that for any one of you guys on that that I keep real close to me. And everybody cannot be close to you because unfortunately you keep too much people close to you and they're not the people, not everybody in this world is real good. Like thank God, 100. Thank God the people that are in.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got 10 minutes left. We gotta wrap this up.
10 minutes? Do we have to tell the story now then of Mexico?
Wrap that up and we'll jump into Mexico and then we'll shut this down and then we'll continue next time.
Hey, your circle is small for a reason because look, would you rather have 4 quarters or you rather have 100 pennies? Me, myself, 4 quarters. Think about that one.
And I can tell you at the end of the day,
I'll read you first.
Real quick, at the end of the day, your family is your blood. You don't get to choose your family, but you get to choose your friends. And your friends can become your family. The term blood is thicker than water, right? Only came about because why? You're more compatible to have the blood of a family member save your life than you are the person that you would share water with. But at the end of the day, if your family member can't save your life, I would give this man water to save his life any day.
100.
As he said that, he pointed to Junebug, not me. I'll play.
Hey,
if somebody will fly with me 2 times to Nebraska and fucking kick everybody out the way just to move up one fridge up 4 flights of stairs, that's a real one. Fucking real talk.
I was put to labor. Let's not get
that.
It twisted.
He fucking pushed everybody out the way. All college students getting kicked out the way. Move. Ernesto is coming through.
I told him, get the fuck out of my way because they're standing in the way. And I was like, get the fuck out of my way, motherfuckers. Because I was carrying a fucking
if you're not helping,
fridge.
you in the way.
Hey, it was very smart of you to hire a guy with like 3 years of moving experience.
Look,
who knows how to talk to people. 6 years of moving experience.
I just wanted a good time.
20 plus years of hard labor.
I wanted comedic relief, and that's exactly what I got. Even better. So
fuck them kids in fucking Nebraska.
When Busy Bone go to college, expect the same shit of me. I'm calling that shit right now.
All right,
Oscar,
guys.
when you go to college, I will be with you, with your father to move you in and out of the dorm, perving, looking at all the hot chicks on the side while I'm moving your fridge. I'm just letting you know that right now. Put that on me right now.
Oscar.
He wants his own
Let's just
private
say
flat.
we give him a fridge to carry. Pick it up.
I'm gonna use a dolly. Fuck all
Crickets.
that. I'm using a dolly. I work smarter, not harder. Your dad is much more of a manly man than I am. I'm just letting you know that right now.
American.
I'm sorry,
Mexican American.
I'm just gonna hire
Manny's dad.
I'm just gonna hire Ernesto's cousins to move everything. So,
all right, guys. So we gotta wrap it up because the horn.
You want to hear the Mexicali story?
Mexicali.
The horn was blown. We gotta wrap it up. We got 10 minutes, and the Mexico story.
Because I gotta pee.
Me too.
One goes at a time. Unless
I'll
you're
start
gonna
it
hold
off.
it.
Go ahead.
But let's go.
So, first off, they have the weigh-ins at a hotel and a nightclub
In Mexico.
So the day before the weigh-ins, they do the weigh-ins at probably 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock, Junebug? 4 o'clock. So we do the weigh-ins at 4 o'clock. So it's Junebug, myself, our buddy Ryan, rest in peace, my buddy Nick, my buddy Tyler, and my buddy Nick's girlfriend Jordan. And
At that time,
we all come together. So Junebug and me and Ryan, all similar in height. Nick and Tyler over 6 feet, and then they bring like the palest white girl, red hair, blue eyes.
Yep.
Red hair, blue eyes. Like she's just like they bring her to Mexico, right? So we're in Mexico.
Yeah, she was red hair. That's my
Yeah,
fault. My bad.
Yeah. So we so they come with us, right?
All bad.
So we weigh in at the nightclub, and after the weigh-ins, they literally turn into a nightclub and just party. So we partied, and then we went to a taco stand, and we
Best dog Ever.
Best dog or rat or catch of the day, whatever it is ever. We sat there and we partied till 2-3 in the morning.
Yep.
2-3 in the morning. I got to fight the next day.
What time? Approximate.
It was us.
Main event. So you're the last one.
Yeah. So I was the main event. So we partied till 3. We partied till 3 in the morning, right? Well, that night we go back to the hotel room. Junebug is not allowed to sleep in our room, so it's me and Ryan in one room. So he's in a room with
Snoring.
Tyler, Nick, his girlfriend Jordan, and
Which they were doing very inappropriate things at very wee hours of the morning. I don't know if
they were doing like smoking weed, doing a threesome. So here's the craziest part, right? The windows are not like a window to the outside world. It's a window you open up, and it's like a patio that goes straight up.
Yeah.
And so they're out there like smoking weed and hanging out, right? So
smoking
this guy is like sleeping in a bed by himself in the corner.
Jerking off. Unbelievable.
They're like in the corner. He's trying to go to bed. The room smells like weed. The hotel staff's calling. The phone's ringing off.
Knocking at the door now.
They unplugged the phone. The hotel staff's knocking on the door. They're not answering the door. They're like running, I wouldn't say a train, but they're like sharing this girl. And they're having a good time. Yeah. And Junebug's trying to sleep, right? He's like
covering up.
He's like, what's going on out there? So anyways, hotel staff's like wants to kick them out, all these things, right? This is like 3-4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, whatever it is. So then the next day we all meet downstairs, we eat breakfast, and then
they're talking. You skipped the part about where they're talking all kinds of Mexican FUBAR or something. Yeah, about the gig. But I had no idea. I knew what FUBAR meant, smoke, because of medical field.
The elephant.
Yeah. Who? So not only that though, they were like, "Oh yeah, in the morning we're about to meet with this guy, get this stuff, and then we're gonna go and blah 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 all this stuff." And Ryan and I'm like, hey, Junebug, come hang out with us. So we end up going to the mall. Remember, we went to the mall that day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We go to the mall, walk around the mall, come back, all that stuff. We have to be back. So in Mexico, when they do an MMA fight, bro, they put on a show. So first off, they make you show up at like 3:00, do weigh-ins, all this stuff. Yeah. They make you do weigh-ins. They make you like at 3, not weigh-ins. They make you come up for the rules meeting at 3:00 that day of, right? So you show up at 3:00 the day of, and then they're like, oh yeah, all right, well you did weigh-ins. They do a rodeo.
What the fuck?
A rodeo, like
a rodeo,
like bull riding, hog tying, in this giant arena at this casino. They have dirt on the ground, like they bring in like tractors and shoveling dirt early in the morning, and we're weighing in, or we're not weighing in. We're doing the rules meeting. We're having all this stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is going on here? So we sit there and we're watching the rodeo, and this is 3:00, 4:00 after the rules meeting, watching the rodeo. They do the rodeo till like 7:00. So then at 7:00, the UFC main card starts. So they put it, it ends at 6, and then from 6 to 7, they have a live band playing. So you have like a mariachi band, like doing country music, all that stuff. They're doing dancing, and they start digging out the dirt on the backside of the stadium. But on the other side, they have people dancing. They have a live band. I guess it's like to offset the sound of the whatever. So then after that, at 7:00, while the UFC fights are on, they have a projector screen going on the screen. They're building the cage for the fights that we're about to have. So then we're sitting there and they build the cage, and the cage is done by about 9:00. It takes them 2 hours to build it. So we've been hanging out at this venue already for 6 hours, and the fights have not even started yet. So I start drinking just a little bit. Junebug's been drinking. My friends are fucking plastered by the time the fights start. So the fights end up starting at 10:00 at night. First fight of the night is at 10:00.
That's fucking crazy.
So I'm in the tent, and I'm like, Junebug, I need to hit mitts because I need to sober up and I need to get a good sweat. So I get a good sweat, and we hit mitts for a good like 25 minutes. I get a good sweat going, and then I'm like, I need to go to bed and I need to sleep this off. So I go to bed, I sleep this off, and after I sleep it off, I wake up. It's like midnight. And I still have 3 fights ahead of me. Well, in the meantime, while the fights are happening, my buddy Nick and my buddy Tyler and the girl, they're betting on each fight.
Yeah.
With this guy next to them. They're both sitting front row. I got front row seats for them. And they're betting with this guy. And what ends up happening is the guy ends up being a shot caller for the Mexicali cartel.
Uh-huh.
So they're betting fights, and we don't know this till after the fight, like way after. So they're betting, and then finally my fight comes up. I end up fighting at about 1 a.m. And my fight goes 5-minute rounds. I end up beating the guy 50-44.
That was a hell of a fight.
I demolished him the whole fight.
Yeah.
And
outclassed him completely.
my buddy Nick is up like almost $1,200 on the cartel guy.
I didn't know this part.
Yeah, so $1,200. So the cartel
Holy.
guy was in like $1,200. And at the end of the fight, you remember Aaron Machi comes up to us.
Yeah.
And Aaron Machi's like, "Hey, was your buddy sitting there hanging out with, that guy over there?" "Oh yeah." I was like, "Oh yeah, they're betting the fight." It's like, "Hey, that guy's a shot caller for the Mexican cartel, like in Mexicali." And I was like, "Nah." And I was like, he's like, "You guys should just like get out of here, like right now." And I was like, okay.
I concur.
So, or like, okay. So we're sitting there talking, and I have you, Ryan, me, Nick, Tyler, and Jordan. And all 6 of us or 7 of us are 6 of us are talking there. And I'm like, "All right, hey guys, we got to get back to the hotel. We got to go." And the guy walks up and he's like, "Hey, great fight. You beat my nephew. Come back to my restaurant.
Oh, here we go.
Let's have dinner. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time.
Provided.
Everything's provided. Whatever you need."
Yep.
"Oh, we got dinner covered, all this stuff. You guys come with us." And I said, "Oh yeah, no worries." I said, "We just got to go grab my stuff out of the locker room." There was no locker room.
That
We go to the bathroom area. We exit the backside of the hotel through an alleyway, and all of us pile in a cab. All 6 of us. We head to the hotel. We grab the rest of our stuff, and then we shoot for the border.
Go, dog.
We shoot for the border because we were probably gonna die. Cartel. So
lose our kidney.
Yeah, lose our kidney. Something.
Fuck.
So we get to the border. And all of us pass through the border, except they question this guy right here. They're like, "This guy looks like a Mexican."
Because I didn't have
He's lying.
passport.
I didn't have a passport either. I had my ID, right?
Well, I mean,
ID.
like-
But they looked at this guy and they're like,
Look,
"This."
I look more Mexican than you do,
You
bro.
do.
Let's keep it
It's true,
100.
it's true.
Let's keep it 100.
It's true. So they question this guy because he looks
Ladies
so
and
Mexican.
gentlemen, he looks like a fucking Japanese guy. But okay.
Hey,
So-
Chino.
so-
but I'm darker than Tolin, so
It's true. So the only thing that gets this guy out is jujitsu.
hey, when I say jiu-jitsu saved my life,
Yes.
Jitsu.
yeah. Yeah.
So the guy at the counter who was part of border control, and all
Border
that,
agent, yep.
Yep, he checked Junebug's ID and questioned him and all this stuff and everything. And apparently, him and Junebug had the same instructor in their life that was a jiu-jitsu guy. And I mean, I showed this guy my belt when I came across, and he was like, "All right, pass through." And then
And
Junebug,
he knew that he had fought the
I showed the poster,
golden
all
boy
this stuff.
in Mexicali at that time.
Yeah, Hector Valenzuela.
Yep.
And so,
Shout out
and then
Hector.
finally they hassled him for like 15 minutes at the border.
Yeah.
We get across the border, we get my pay from my promoter, and then on top of that, that wasn't the last stop.
No.
Then we went through the true American Border Patrol,
Yeah.
where they were like, "Hey, we got to search the vehicle," and I just showed them a picture of the poster, showed them my belt, and they were like, "You guys are good to go."
Yeah.
But the whole part about that was the fact that we almost ended up in cartel suit.
Very close. Like, had we left it up to his friends, Nick, and what's the other guy's name?
Tyler,
we would.
yeah, they were
not
like,
have
"Let's
made it
go,
home.
it's all good,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
go
yeah.
party with them." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh no."
Yeah. I was
Like,
like,
you can't do
Tolin,
that.
get
No,
your
like,
shit.
for real.
We're going home.
Hey, and what year was this?
2015.
2015. It was more like
2014. No. Yeah, 2014.
okay, 14, 15. That era.
September 2014.
That era. It's like, you know what? But then a few years later, let's fast forward. It's like, no, you don't do that shit. Everyone's like aware, like, nah, hey, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
They're
not at
trying
all.
to kill you.
I was thinking like that that night. I
Yeah.
was like, bro,
Because that's when shit hit for real. And you're like, you know
Yeah.
what? Nah, this shit's fucking real. We
Yeah.
ain't doing that shit.
Look, yeah, I mean,
That was a great night.
that was a great
trip.
night. That was a great weekend. The
Great
whole
trip,
time,
the
that
whole
was over
thing.
there.
We showed
Yeah,
up on
yeah.
Thursday. We left.
It's a
We
great
left
night because
Sunday
they
at
both
3 in the
lived.
morning.
Yes,
We left Sunday at 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning, 3:30. We passed under the
we
wall.
we straight up shot to Vegas.
Yeah.
And as they made
A.
across the border, they were both like hands out the fucking side of each
No,
wheel.
yeah, like
I
as
mean,
soon
more
as
so.
as soon as we were in my truck, we
Screaming.
were
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met the promoter at a bank, and he paid me out everything cash. And I mean, that was always my thing. Whenever I came for fights, I was like, my room, board, food, and beverage is covered for everyone I bring
Mm.
the whole time.
that was
Like,
that
you
was,
never ever came out
yeah.
of pocket for
No.
anything.
Not at
And
all.
they covered my gas for when we drove and all that stuff. And yep. And then it's always been good. I know we're running short on time, but no, we didn't get to cover everything. I know we're running short on time.
There's too much to talk about. That's the problem.
I know.
But
We never stopped. We went all the way through.
I know.
Holy shit.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Stop smoking it,
came
dude.
out.
That habanero pickle juice.
Shit.
Catching
Oscar,
up.
how much time we got? We got 3 minutes. If you guys got 2 minutes to wrap it
I
up.
gotta go pee though,
Yo,
so we don't have 3 minutes.
Joe, okay, go
thank
ahead.
you guys very much for
No.
having us back on this podcast. We need to shout you guys out. Check them out. Spotify. What else platforms are you on?
Spotify.
Just Spotify right now?
At this point, fuck it. Fuck you and fuck the world. Spotify.
Well, fuck. If you're a real one, then fucking listen. If not, fuck off.
Whoa, let's not offend people, Junebug.
Hey,
But
we started offending people when I talked about that 10-year thing that I brought up.
what 10-year things? Embellish us real quick before Tony gets back. So we
10
can shut down.
years of marriage contract, no involvement of church and or state, reevaluate and find a traditional woman, not a woman in the West.
And on that note, you're saying
Yes.
that they, them binary is not equivalent to a man.
Well,
shame,
I mean,
shame
you
on
know,
you.
Jeez. Get ready to get canceled. Shout out the Tate brothers. Long live the Tate brothers.
You know they just got indicted, right?
Huh?
They just got indicted again.
I don't until they're
I agree,
yeah.
and I know they're gonna prove innocence, but
Right.
yeah, it just came through 2 days ago.
I mean, you know, the Matrix has some power on them, but they gotta stick to them guns.
And real quick, my son's right there. He's not built like you, me, and Tolin,
Mhm.
especially like you and me because of our genre or our generation, how we were built.
If I get this 10-year thing passed, it'll be for your sake.
But real quick, Tate's, their beliefs. Not saying they're 100% true, but
Sure.
would you agree it's like this is more towards the truth and the way
Yes.
things should be?
Yes, without a doubt.
Kevin Samuels, we should.
RP Kevin, the Godfather, man. Spoken facts.
Just,
Fire.
No offense to my son, but we're just saying that because it's more towards the way things should be more veered towards.
Find
But-
yourself a traditional woman, Oscar.
Off Philippines.
Philippines, Mexico, freaking, you know, somewhere where she doesn't have access to social media.
Junebug's aunties, sisters, nephews,
Cousins, nephews, aunties,
niece, and
uncles,
daughters.
something. Yeah. Like twice removed. I don't know. But yeah, find the traditional woman that's is concerned about bringing you a family and taking care of you and you taking care of her and not concerned with social media.
Yeah, I was just talking shit, but you're being real right now, so yeah. Enough of this masculine shit too. Like
I'm saying, dog.
Yeah.
I'm protecting you guys, you and my sons. That's the generation that I want to help protect.
I agree. Junebug, we got like another minute, so Tone gets back because we're supposed to shut this shit down now because the horn already went off and the horn's about to go off in like 2 more minutes.
I know. Thank you very much for having us back on here. Appreciate you guys.
You guys are always welcome, and we got too much to talk about, and we were
conversation's good.
We were almost there until we got sidetracked because we had the topics speak for themselves.
Yeah,
realistically, the topics speak for themselves, and that's where we got embellished, and we got to keep going. And I want to continue these subjects, and we have to continue these subjects. I mean, I'm talking about everything.
Look, I apologize if you get canceled. I'm just letting you know.
I don't give a fuck. What are they gonna do with me?
But that's why we love it. That's why I love you. That's why I respect you, because you don't give a fuck.
Fuck. Damn. Tolin, pick it up. Ladies and gentlemen, I will have the social medias of both fucking members tonight underneath in the description of YouTube when I had this up on YouTube and Rumble, because we will have it up. And even though we're having a lot of problems, and let me do some bells real quick. We had a long layoff, and the reason why is because just a quick story, 30 seconds. Me and Oscar had a podcast going. We had 4.5 hours of footage going with many people for 3 podcasts, and we ended up having audio and technical difficulties. And you know what? Apologies, worked on it. We spent months trying to figure out the problem. It didn't work out. We lost it all. You know what? Fuck you and fuck the world. We lost it. Apologies. And here we are now.
The greatest podcast that never happened.
It never happened apparently now.
Until you fuckers share it. Share it, fuckers.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give a shout out to my number one, my wife, because I honestly would not be who I am and where I am today without her. I don't name drop names, so I won't drop her name because y'all don't need to know. And those who know. And secondly, obviously, Ernesto, Junebug, guys that are in my top 5 and friends. We talk about that close friend circle. These guys that are in it right there. Lastly, I just want to say, I want to close, I don't have social media, but I do have a Twitter account I don't use. It's at Tolin the Hawk. So if you guys want to shoot things my way or ask me questions, I'm more than happy.
Bring them back.
Bring them back, yeah. And then closing arguments, I can let you know that if you guys are not in some type of competitive sport, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu, it doesn't have to be MMA. It has to be a sport that you have to want to bond with people and share experiences with. I highly recommend it, because the things that you have with your friends that you can connect with outside of sports, those are very valuable, but you should still have those intense experiences where you share things with individuals through growth, opportunity in sports. So I encourage not just you, but your kids and everyone to partake in these experiences.
Football is a great example. Wrestling is a great example.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid like me and break your foot playing softball.
Getting Tone in the face is a great example. Ladies and gentlemen, Tone Hawk Garcia, Large Professor Junebug, Gaspar Agabin.
Mahalo no.
We love you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for doing this. And there's going to be many more to come. And you know what? Life Over Drinks podcast. Good night.